Hi there and welcome to WCMU's Quiz Central. Our teams tonight come from Mackinaw City and Mount Pleasant Sacred Heart, so don't go away.
Support for Quiz Central is provided by the CMU Bookstore. T-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, Maroon and Gold memories, and an official outfitter of Adidas apparel at the Central Michigan University owned and operated CMU Bookstore. Online shopping 7 days a week at cmubookstore.com, on campus at the University Center, and game day locations at Kelly Short Stadium and the John G. Kulhalvi Event Center.
Good luck to both of our teams. Let's play Quiz Central.
Chopin.
Correct. All right, your next toss-up.
The lottery.
Right.
The Stranger.
You are correct. Traverse City Central hangs on. They are our season champions. Hi there, and thanks for tuning in to Quiz Central. I'm your host, Steve Smith. And our teams tonight are Mackinaw City and Mount Pleasant Sacred Heart. They are two of 48 teams competing again this season. The Quiz Central teams are divided into 4 divisions based on school size. Each division will have a champion, and one of those teams will be this season's overall winner. They're vying for scholarships from Central Michigan University, and Rick Westover will tell us more about that.
The 4 starters and 3 alternates of the division championship teams will each receive a 2-year, $4,000 room and board scholarship from Central Michigan University Residence Life. In addition, 4 lucky Quiz Central seniors will receive textbook scholarships from the CMU Bookstore. And a special thanks to CMU Enrollment and Student Services, which provides lunch for our contestants and their traveling party.
All right, we will meet our contestants very shortly. But first, let's jump right into the action with the Maroon and Gold round. The Maroon and Gold round gives teams 2 minutes to answer as many questions as possible. If the team ringing in misses the question, the opposing team will have a chance to respond. There's no talking among team members, and correct answers are worth 10 points. Good luck to both of our teams. Let's play Quiz Central. In 2019, what products whose largest manufacturer is Juul were banned by San Francisco? Madeline, Mount Pleasant Sacred Heart.
Vapes.
I'm sorry?
Vapes.
I need a more specific.
E-cigarettes.
There you go. The proverb that there is no place like home comes from Zeus and the Tortoise, a tale attributed to what author? Evan, Mackinaw City.
Aesop?
Yep. Lech Wałęsa co-founded what liberal trade union that helped to bring about the end of communism in Poland? Leslie, Mount Pleasant Sacred Heart.
Solidarity?
That's right. Mosaic and Netscape were what type of application, since they send and receive data using HTTP, can store cookies and are used to access websites? Madeline, Mount Pleasant Sacred Heart.
Browsers?
Yep, that's right. What Russian Tsar, who killed his oldest son, was called Grozny or the Terrible? Evan, Mackinaw City.
Ivan the Fourth?
Yeah, that is correct. What force driven by instantaneous dipoles is the weakest of the van der Waals forces and is named for a physicist rather than a European capital? Didn't think I was going to stump you. Okay, let's move on to the next question. What novel, whose antagonists are led by Chief Weasel, was written by Kenneth Grahame and features characters like Mole, Rat, and Mr. Toad? Next question. What city at the southern end of Vancouver Island is the capital of British Columbia? Luke, Mount Pleasant Sacred Heart.
Vancouver?
Nope, sorry, incorrect. Mackinaw City. We'll find out in just a minute. What materials whose interstitial type has small atoms in the spaces between larger atoms are solid solutions of a metal with other elements? Leslie, Mount Pleasant Sacred Heart.
Ore?
Nope, sorry, Mackinaw City. Jeffrey.
Alloys?
That's correct. Cicero called what ancient Greek? You're done with the round there. All right, you came off with a strong start, and we have a tied game at this point, 30-30. The questions that were missed: force driven by instantaneous dipoles would be London dispersion. The novel was The Wind in the Willows. The capital of British Columbia is Victoria, and solid solutions of a metal with other elements would be an alloy, which you got right. So we did get that one right. All right, so that brings us to the end of our first round. Again, we have a tied game, and let's meet the people behind the brains. Let's turn to Jeffrey first in Mackinaw City.
Hi, my name is Jeffrey Sibiktroth. I'm a freshman and I run in cross country.
My name is Rosie Bigtroth. I'm a junior and I'm in the NHS.
Hi, my name is Evan Kronk. I'm a junior, and I play men's volleyball, golf, and electric bass.
Hi, I'm Caroline Summers. I'm a junior, and I play basketball, softball, and cross country.
All right, welcome to Quiz Central. Mackinaw City's alternates are Jillian Liddy and Julia Sullivan. They're coached by Lisa Rivera and Jennifer Lee. Let's give them a nice round of applause. And now to the team from Mount Pleasant Sacred Heart. Hi there, Wyatt.
Hi, I'm Wyatt. I'm a junior at Sacred Heart, and I do football, baseball, and Mod UN.
Hi, I'm Leslie. I'm a senior. I do cross country, track, Model UN, and Science Olympiad.
My name is Luke Permuka. I'm a senior at Sacred Heart. I run track, cross country, and I also play basketball.
I'm Madeline Humphreys. I'm a senior at Sacred Heart. I'm vice president of NHS. I'm a band, choir, and Science Olympiad, and I was first team all-conference in golf this year.
All right, nice to have you here as well. The alternates for Mount Pleasant Sacred Heart are Molly Yonker and Sammy McDonald. The team's coach is Catherine Hosbeck. Let's give them a nice round of applause. And with that, we jump right back into the action with the kickoff round. The kickoff round is a combination of toss-up and bonus questions. The team that correctly answers the toss-up question will be asked a bonus. Then we go back to a toss-up question for both teams. Toss-up questions need an individual response, but team members can consult on the bonus. Captains, remember that the answers must come from you on the bonuses unless you defer to a colleague. Your first toss-up question of the round. What country, once called Saint-Domingue, was led by the dictator Papa Doc Duvalier, who had a paramilitary unit named for a voodoo monster? Leslie, Mount Pleasant Sacred Heart.
Haiti?
That's right, bonus question. Carl Anderson confirmed Paul Dirac's prediction of antimatter when he discovered what antiparticle that's the counterpart of the electron?
Proton?
Nope, I'm sorry, positron. All right, next question for both teams. The only black Republican in the House of Representatives is from Luke, Mount Pleasant Sacred Heart.
Texas.
That's correct, and another bonus. What Spanish architect's Sagrada Familia Cathedral, whose construction began in 1882, is scheduled to be completed in 2026?
No answer.
Okay, it's Antoni Gaudi. Next question for both teams. What trees in genus Quercus have an evergreen or live type, have wood often used in wine barrels, and grow from nuts called acorns? Carolyn, Mackinaw City?
Oak tree.
I'm sorry?
Oak tree.
You are right. Here's your bonus. The Raven Moses, who makes up stories about Sugar Candy Mountain, appears in what novella that depicts the rise of an authoritarian pig named Napoleon?
Animal Farm.
You are right. Back to both teams. What man who was the know-nothing candidate in the 1856 presidential election signed the Compromise of 1850 after succeeding Zachary Taylor? Luke, Mount Pleasant Sacred Heart?
Polk.
Nope, sorry. Mackinaw City, you get a shot. Jeffrey?
Van Buren?
Nope, Millard Fillmore. All right, both teams. In Monopoly, how much rent is owed for landing on a railroad whose owner owns Leslie, Mount Pleasant Sacred Heart?
$100?
Nope, sorry, incorrect. I will finish this. They own one other railroad, or for landing on boardwalk with no houses. Mackinaw City.
$50.
Jeffrey, you are right, and here is a bonus. What mathematical term means the probability of avoiding a type 2 error or the set of all subsets of a set, and can also be a synonym of exponent?
Power.
You are right. All right, back to both teams. Occam's razor is also known as the law of what 9-letter term for the simplicity of a theory? The answer is parsimony. What surname is shared by a jazz saxophonist named Bird and the author of Enough Rope, a witty member of the Algonquin Round Table named Dorothy? That name is Parker. What quantity is conserved in the absence of external torque, allowing skaters to draw their arms in to spin faster? Jeffrey, Mackinaw City?
Rotational inertia.
Nope, I'm sorry, incorrect. Mount Pleasant Sacred Heart. Go ahead, Leslie.
Kinetic energy.
Nope. The actual answer is angular momentum. All right, another toss-up. What man who is revealed to be a segregationist in Go Set a Watchman is a Macomb County, Leslie, Mount Pleasant Sacred Heart?
Atticus Finch.
That's correct. Your bonus question. What American author depicted himself as William Lee in a novel about his experiences with drugs entitled Naked Lunch?
No answer.
The author is William Burroughs, and that brings us to the end of our round there. But it's still a tight match. 70-60 is the score. Mackinaw City, you have the lead right now as we go into our first break. And when we come back, we'll see if either team can score a perfect 10, so don't go away.
I took astronomy from Carl Sagan in 1977. The guy had a huge influence on me. Cosmos on PBS was Carl Sagan's lectures with fabulous graphics.
Bill Nye, the Science Guy.
PBS and I are a perfect match. It's just wonderful programming, not just for kids, but for all of us.
Carry on. Don't you people have school to work on?
Today, children have more ways to learn and grow than ever before. But in rural areas of our country, millions don't have access to high-speed internet. For these families, television is often their only source of educational programming. The new PBS Kids 24/7 channel is available for those who need it most, providing content that's proven to build important skills for every child.
Welcome back to Quiz Central and the Perfect 10. The Perfect 10 gives you 60 seconds to answer 10 questions from your choice of clues to 3 categories. The opposing team gets 30 seconds to tackle all unasked missed or passed questions. Mackinaw City, you have the lead, so Mount Pleasant Sacred Heart gets their first choice today. The clues to the categories are Professional Biology Professor, I'm Sailing, and Geography B. Professional Biology Professor, I'm Sailing, and Geography B.
Geography B.
Geography B, all right. Geographic Extremes is your actual category. Answer the following about geographical extremes on Earth. Mountain range home to Mount Everest.
Himalayan.
Yep. The CN Tower that is this country's tallest structure.
UAE.
UAE.
No. Smallest country by area and population.
Luke.
Vatican City.
That's right. Southernmost U.S. state.
Hawaii.
Luke.
Hawaii.
Yup. Body of water whose coast is the Earth's lowest land elevation.
Dead Sea.
Yup. Ecuadorian peak that is the farthest from the Earth's center.
No answer.
Okay. Trench home to Challenger Deep, the lowest point in the world's seabed.
Mariana Trench.
Yep. World's tallest building?
Wyatt.
Oh, Burj Khalifa.
That's right. Tallest mountain in Antarctica?
No answer.
No answer. Okay. And world's smallest island country by area whose capital is Yaren?
Malta.
Luke.
Malta.
Nope, sorry, incorrect. And that you used up all 60 seconds. Mackinaw City, let's see if you can do the same with the 30 seconds you have on the clock. Answer the following about geographical extremes on Earth. The CN Tower is this country's tallest structure.
Toronto.
Country.
Oh, Canada.
Okay. Ecuadorian peak that is the farthest from the Earth's center.
Say
Munakai.
Nope. Tallest mountain in Antarctica.
The what? Mary Bird.
Nope. And world's smallest island country by area whose capital is Yaren.
Tuvalu.
Nope. Okay, the answers to the questions that we missed. Ecuadorian peak that is the farthest from the Earth's center is Mount Chimborazo. The tallest mountain in Antarctica is Vinson Massif. And the world's smallest island country is Nauru. Okay, we apologize to Mackinaw City. We prompted the answer Toronto. That's not part of the rules. Canada needed to be the answer, and so Mackinaw City will not get 10 points for that. But we do continue with Perfect 10, and now it's Mackinaw City's turn to choose from the 2 remaining categories. Those are Professional Biology Professor and I'm Sailing. Professional Biology Professor and I'm Sailing. Which one would you like?
What do you want? Biology? We'll take biology.
Okay, biology prose is your actual category. Give these biology terms that begin with the letters P-R-O. First stage of mitosis.
Prophase.
Yes. A disease's predicted progression.
Prognosis.
Yup. Macromolecule made up of amino acids and polypeptides.
Protein.
Yup. Hormone that stimulates milk production.
Progesterone.
Nope. Eukaryote that is neither plant, fungus,
Prokaryote.
nor animal.
Prokaryote.
No, that's not right. Exocrine, gland of the male reproductive system.
Prostate.
Yes. Microorganism that benefits the gut, such as those in yogurt.
Probiotic.
Yep. Term for all the contents of a cell inside the membrane.
Pass.
An artificial replacement body part.
Prosthetic.
Yes, and another name for autotrophic.
Prokaryotic.
Nope, sorry, incorrect. All right, now over to Mount Pleasant Sacred Heart. 30 seconds to you. Give these biology terms that begin with the letters P-R-O. Hormone that stimulates milk production.
Progesterone?
Nope. Eukaryote that is neither plant, fungus, nor animal.
Protist.
Yes. Term for all of the contents of a cell inside the membrane.
Protozoa?
Nope. And another name for autotrophic.
Producer.
Yes, that's correct. Okay, so the questions that were missed. The hormone that stimulates milk production is prolactin, and protoplasm is the term for all the contents inside the cell, inside a membrane. So that leaves us still with a very, very, very close game here. We have a score of 140 to 130. Mount Pleasant Sacred Heart has recaptured the lead, and we are moving into the home stretch. Like round two, this segment features a combination of toss-up and bonus questions. I'll ask one toss-up question. The team that answers correctly will be asked a bonus. Then we go back to a toss-up question for both teams. The first toss-up question is, in 1659, Christian Huygens patented the first clock based on what device? A swinging mass that returns? Evan, Mackinaw City.
Pendulum.
That's right. Here's your bonus. What game series, which includes the action RPG Brotherhood of Steel and the controversial 76, also includes a game set in post-apocalyptic New Vegas?
Fallout.
Yep. Back to both teams. A technique known as mark and recapture is used to estimate what quantity related to an animal species. Evan, Mackinaw City.
Population.
That's right, and another bonus. Anne of Denmark was the wife of what first Stuart King of England who succeeded Elizabeth I and sponsored a 1611 translation of the Bible?
King James.
King James.
Yes, you need to be more specific though.
The third.
Nope, I'm sorry, that is not correct. James I was the correct answer. So back to both teams. On Arrested Development, Henry Winkler played a lawyer with what first name, which is also the title of a Bill Hader show about hitman turned actor? Wyatt, Mount Pleasant Sacred Heart.
Barry.
That's right. Here is your bonus. What poet depicted just another kind of outdoor game between the speaker and a man who says, good fences make good neighbors, in his poem, Mending Wall?
Frost.
That's right. All right, both teams. What position to which Joy Harjo was named in 2019 had previously been held by Rita Dove, whose books include Thomas and Beulah? The answer there is Poet Laureate. All right, the Elephanta Caves are in what city? The center of the Bollywood film industry that lies, Evan, Mackinaw City?
Dubai.
Nope, I'm sorry, incorrect. Let's finish it. It lies on India's west coast and it's the most populous city. Mount Pleasant Sacred Heart. Leslie.
New Delhi?
Nope, I'm sorry, Mumbai. All right, what word identifies both the storms that thwarted the Mongol Empire's invasions of Japan and Jeffrey, Mackinaw City?
Typhoon.
I'm sorry?
Typhoon.
Nope, I'm sorry, incorrect. It was a suicide tactic used by World War II fighter pilots as well. Mount Pleasant Sacred Heart. Wyatt.
Kamikaze.
That's right, and here's a bonus. The name of what movement of British textile workers who destroyed looms to protest industrialization refers generally to those opposed to technology?
Anarchists?
Nope. The Luddites is the correct answer. Okay, what artistic approach, which is sometimes prefixed with photo or hyper, is also called naturalism? Leslie.
Realism.
Yep, that's right, and another bonus. What steel-driving folk hero died with a hammer in his hand after trying to out-tunnel a steam drill? Need an answer?
No answer.
It was John Henry. Both teams. What man whose youth is depicted in Norman Mailer's novel The Castle in the Forest died along with his lover Eva Braun in 1945 and led the Nazis? Wyatt, Mount Pleasant Sacred Heart.
Adolf Hitler.
That's right, another bonus. What airline, named for an old name for China, warned its employees not to participate in Hong Kong protests in 2019?
Defer to Luke.
Qantas?
Nope, I'm sorry, Cathay Pacific. And we are done with that round there. All right, you guys are keeping me on my toes. Mount Pleasant Sacred Heart is edged ahead just a little bit. We've got a score of 190 to 160. We're going to take another break, and when we come back, it'll all come down to the final countdown, so don't go away.
Our great state of Michigan is truly one of a kind. From the city streets to the small towns, you can see it all right here on Destination Michigan. We'll crisscross the state in search of the sights, the sounds, and of course the people that make Michigan the greatest state in the land. Take in the scenery, meet the people, and experience the wonder of the Great Lakes State. Come along with us as we share your stories on Destination Michigan.
Unlock your newest member benefit. Over 1,000 episodes of your favorite PBS shows. American Masters, Antiques Roadshow, Nature, Nova, Masterpiece. Watch the best of PBS anytime, anywhere. Become a member, sign in, and start streaming today.
Welcome back. This is the Quiz Central Final Countdown. This is another 2-minute rapid-fire round. The first player to ring in gets a shot at answering the question. If you get it wrong, we turn to the opposing team for a chance to answer. Here we go. What property of a square matrix can be found by cofactor expansion and equals AD minus BC for a 2x2 matrix? Leslie, Mount Pleasant Sacred Heart.
Additive property?
Nope, I'm sorry, incorrect. Mackinaw City. Rose.
The golden ratio?
Nope, sorry. Come back to that. What material used with gold to sculpt the Athena Parthenos is like bones and teeth used for scrimshawing? Leslie, Mount Pleasant Sacred Heart.
Ivory?
Yep, that's right. A woman who gave her children some broth without any bread lived in what type of object? That Winkin, Blinkin? Evan, Mackinaw City.
A log cabin?
Nope, sorry, incorrect. Winkin, Blinkin, and Nod sailed off in. Mount Pleasant Sacred Heart. Madeline?
A shoe?
Yep, that's right. What book, which was purportedly translated from Reformed Egyptian and engraved on golden tablets, was published in 1830 by Joseph Smith? Leslie, Mount Pleasant Sacred Heart.
The Book of the Dead?
Nope, I'm sorry, incorrect. How about Mackinaw City? All right, next question. Which U.S. states' protected areas include Capitol Reef, the island in the sky, which is part of Luke, Mount Pleasant Sacred Heart?
Utah.
That's right. What form of electric power, which in American homes typically has a frequency of 60 hertz, was championed by Nikola Tesla and is Evan, Mackinaw City?
Alternating current?
That's correct. Schottky and Frankel are types of what interruptions in the repeating pattern of a crystal structure? Leslie, Mount Pleasant Sacred Heart.
No answer.
Okay, how about Mackinaw City? Go ahead, Evan.
Refractions?
Nope, sorry. Railroad bars heated and bent around tree trunks were known as the neckties of what Civil War general who led Union troops on a march to the sea? Leslie, Mount Pleasant Sacred Heart.
Lee.
Nope, Mackinaw City. Go ahead, Rose.
Stonewall Jackson?
Nope, it was Sherman. Sherman was the answer. All right, so let's see, how did the score end up? Mount Pleasant Sacred Heart edges ahead to win this round. A nice round of applause for Mount Pleasant. Back to the questions that were missed. The Civil War general was Sherman. Schottky and Frankel are crystal defects. The book by Joseph Smith was the Book of Mormon. And let's see here. The property of a square matrix is determinant. So again, a real good game. You gave each other a run for your money. Let's give both teams a nice round of applause. And that does it for another edition of Quiz Central. Until next time, like us on Facebook or watch your favorite game online as we feature the best and brightest high school students from around the state. Thanks for tuning in.
Support for Quiz Central is provided by the CMU Bookstore. T-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, Maroon and Gold memories, and an official outfitter of Adidas apparel at the Central Michigan University owned and operated CMU Bookstore. Online shopping 7 days a week at cmubookstore.com, on campus at the University Center, and game day locations at Kelly Short Stadium and the John G. Kulhalvi Event Center.